This is an English Enfield clock movement we've taken out of the case. We're going to take it to pieces, clean it, check it, oil it, put it back together again, get it running. First thing we'll do is we'll remove the crutch by undoing these two screws here. Out, we'll put it aside. Now we can remove the crutch. So we'll take the hammer off. We don't lose the pin. That has been hammered in seriously. Put it aside. Now it'll be easier to remove the crutch. That over there. Now we'll remove the parts on top of the front plate. Spinning around, we'll get take that circlip, put it over there. Remove the snail. Another circlip here. It's a bit tight. Doesn't want to come off. Be careful we don't lose it. Put it aside. Remove the rack. Comes off. Now what have we got in here? That lever there and that one there are held in by little bits of wire. Been bent into an S shape, so we'll remove that. This one down here, straighten it up so we can push it through. Over there. And remove this one. Now, using a 6mm spanner, we'll undo these nuts on the back of the plate. Put them aside. fourth one. Now we'll carefully remove the top plate. Bent bit of wire holding this clutch on here, so we'll remove that. There we go. Pull that out. Now, we can remove that clutch. We'll now remove the wheels, the going side, put them into a tray because we're going to clean them in a moment. Then the parts from the strike side. The vane comes out first, then the fourth wheel, third wheel, second wheel or the star wheel, first wheel, the post, and then both of the barrel springs come out. Now we'll take the springs out of the barrel, clean them, grease them, put them away separately. Then all the brass parts of the clock will go into an ultrasonic, we'll clean it, and then we'll start to reassemble the movement again. Once we've done that, we'll be able to check for end play and to make sure that all the bushings are correct in relation to the pivots, and none of them need re-bushing. Cleaned the springs, greased them. So now we're going to put the movement back together again. We'll start off with the strike side. Then the going side. Wheel in there. That wheel's driven by the going side spring. Now, wheel goes there, does, and then we've got the escape wheel, which will go there, underneath it, driven by that one. Now we'll put in the strike side. First wheel goes there. Actually, before I put that in, we'll put the star wheel in. Star wheel will go there, driven by the first wheel. We'll put the lifting lever for the hammer, goes there. The warning wheel goes in there. Then the fly goes there. We need to remake a tapered pin to hold one of the wheels on in the movement. This is the correct size tapered pin that I've selected. You can see I've put a black texture mark there and a black texture mark there. That's where we're going to cut the pin and then we'll finish it off. First cut. Second cut. Now we put the pin into a pin vise. And tighten it down. Now, using a pivot file, we'll first square the end. Where we've cut it, you can see it's pretty rough. We'll square that end off. Let's fold it nice and flat. We'll now bevel the end of the tapered pin at 45 degrees using the file while we spin the pin vise. Getting around now. Nice and smooth. Right, we'll reverse the pin in the pin vise and do the other end. Tighten it down. Square off the end first. Okay, now 45 degree bevel in the end of the pin while we spin the pin vise around. Now we'll put the top plate on. There. Before we go any further, we'll put a nut on each of the pillars down the bottom here. Then we'll work our way up the train, putting the pivots into the bushes. We'll start to put the wheels into place now. First wheel. Star wheel. Going side, escape wheel. That is in. Guy, the third wheel in. Tiny little bit, it's in. And the fly. Bring him up a tiny little bit. In it goes. Give the wheels a spin. Make sure they're all in there, aligned. Then we'll put a nut on these other two pillars. Tighten down the ones we did before. That'll hold it all in place. Tighten them down with a 6mm spanner. Not too much, just enough to hold them in place. Then we'll check the wheels, make sure that the pivots fit into the bushes and the bushes aren't elongated. So we don't have to do any bushing, we'll check that now. Right, there's our basic movement. Put together. Now we'll look for end play on each wheel to make sure that the pivots are centered in their bushes. Star wheel looks alright. This movement hasn't had a lot of work, I don't think. Everything's pretty good in it. Warning wheel. Fly. In play. Slide that into there to its pivot hole. Which is there. Now, the back cock, that's called. And screw that back into place. And the other one on the other side. Take that out. Check that the pallets are on the right place. On the escape wheel there. Now, tighten those screws down. Then we'll check to make sure that the depthing on that is correct, and it isn't. So we'll loosen that off, both the nuts. Move that up a little bit. The back cock, just the other side. Bring it up a little bit more and see how the wheel works. Not working properly yet. Little bit light on the recoil, so we'll lift that up. See how that goes. A little bit high. Drop this side a little bit. Tighten it. There we go. We're moving one tooth at a time. Under there. That's now set up. We'll do a final adjustment on that once we get the rest of the movement together. Now we'll put the flirts back onto the movement. This is the first one. Goes up here, up the top. Out through the back plate. There. And over the top of that. Here we go, that's got him. Over the top of that spring, which holds tension on it. That lever is held in place by a piece of bent wire that we will put in now. Bend the bottom up towards us. Not easy because it's got that spring in the way. That's better. Now get it with a pair of pliers. Then we'll turn the top of the wire over in the opposite direction, which will hold it in there. Wire, snip it off. Now that flirt or lever is held securely. Now we'll put the next one on. Over there and under the cam. Once again, it's held in place by a bit of bent wire, not a taper pin. Now we'll put the clicks on the going side first. Pull the click back. Now we'll put the ratchet wheels on the clicks, drop it on into place. Then we hold it on. By screwing this into place. Okay, that's one. Now we'll put the strike side on. Pull the click back again so the ratchet falls down. Then tie it down. There we go. And screw that in. Great, they're held in place now. Wheel goes there. Right, now we'll put the snail on. Push the rack up. Put the snail on. Now we can't fix the snail in position yet. We have to check and see where that pin there, drops on the snail. That pin has to drop exactly in the beginning of that section there in each instance. If it drops here, then your timing will be out. It must drop into that corner. That's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, etc. And I'll show you how we test that. That wheel won't fall off. So this is how we set that pin there exactly in the correct position on the snail. We hold the fly with a finger to stop it turning. We lift this flirt up here, hold it up with our thumb. So the rack falls down on the snail. We'll put this back on. Put the clamp over the top to stop it moving. And that has pretty much set up the front of the movement, which we'll check soon. Now we need to turn it over. Check to make sure that the escape wheel is turning. We'll put a little bit of tension on the going side spring just to make sure that that is correct. Now you can see the escape wheel is turning one tooth at a time. We'll let the pressure off the spring. After we've oiled it, we'll wind up both springs and then put the movement on the test stand. We'll start to time it and see how it goes. All right, let's start oiling. We want a little bit of oil on the top of each of these pivots. In there. We'll have 2 dabs. Oop. We'll have 2 dabs on the back of the spring. Oil in there. Turn it round. Oil that pivot. And that one. The fly pivot is there. There. It's got sufficient. And that's a post, so we'll put 2 dabs on there. And 2 on the going side spring. Okay, I'll turn that over. We'll do the other side. Sitting flat. Put the oiler up there and off we go again. Two dabs on the winding arbor. Two on the rack. Two on the snail. Oh, one in there. One down under there. Pull that flirt up. One in there. Not much, a little bit more. One on there, let that flirt back. The other side of the fly. Star wheel pinion. One under there. We're starting to run out of oil. Two, because that's a post. A little bit more oil. Now we can get to the back cock pinion now, which is down in there. Down into there.
we've done that side there. We'll put a dab on each of these posts that we put in before, tied down with a bit of wire. And this one in here. That one. And that one. Now we're ready to put the hammer on the back, and then we'll put it on a test stand. We've wound the spring both sides of the clock. Now we'll set the movement up on the test stand. Then tighten it down so it doesn't move. Right, there we have it on the test stand. All we have to do now is add the weight. We can start timing it. We'll go and put it over on the bench with the rest of our test stands, and then we'll take a quick video of it. There's our movement running on a test stand. It'll be up there for a fortnight while we adjust the time.